Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to talk to you about a research paper that was written by researchers from the Georgia Southern University and from the University of Development Studies in Ghana. So this research was probing into the sources of microbial contamination in the sachet water that we consume. So they wanted to find out where the germs, the pathogens, the bacteria actually come from, where was their source. That is what this research paper was actually about. So these researchers were about 11, 10 of them from Georgia Southern University and one from Ghana. That is University for Development Studies in Ghana, Tamale. So Ghana has been experiencing rapid development and a population growth. That was said by World Bank in 2019, and it was because of the increase in rapid urban development and increase in population. We are having significant challenges with the quality of the water that is being produced and served to consumers. So in the capital city of Ghana, that is in Accra, approximately 75% of the population lack access to 24-hour quality drinking water. So this has become challenges for many people. So in order for us to bridge this gap of lack of 24-hour safe drinking water, a lot of people have come up with the idea of producing water that has been packaged either in bottle or in sachet water, so that the gap between the water that is being not able to reach a lot of people would be bridged. So according to sachet water is a form of affordable packaged water, usually in a 500 ml polythene bag. So according to a national survey, 27.6% of Ghanaian urban households reported sachet water as their primary source of drinking water. Now this is very important because the numbers have increased. This research was actually done in 2015-2016. Now in 2023-2024, the numbers has drastically increased. So in that time, 27.6% said that the main source of water for drinking was sachet water. I'm not talking about water for cooking or water for bathing. I'm talking about water for drinking. So according to the World Health Organization, now water that is safe for human consumption should be free from pathogens, should not have any kind of bacteria in it, according to the World Health Organization. However, more and more research have found that the water that is being produced and served to Ghanaians is fraught with a lot of bacteria and pathogens, which makes it very detrimental and injurious to our health as consumers and as Ghanaians as we consume these waters. So the pathogens should never be found in water. So the pathogens that they look out for, or what they call the indicator pathogens, are the total coliforms, fecal coliforms, E. coli, which are the bacteria that they look out for predominantly in water when they are doing the analysis. So this research actually was done in 6 cities in Ghana, and they were done in Tamale, Kintampo, Techiman, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Accra. So a total of 175 sachet water samples were gathered from these 6 cities, and then they were analyzed. From these 175 samples, they analyzed 21 brands, and I'm going to show you, per this research, they were able to tell us the kind of brands that they used in their analysis. Now for research purposes, normally the brands are not mentioned, but with this paper, these researchers decided to mention the brands that they use for the analysis, and I'm going to tell you the brands that they use. And as in reading the Bible, and you are silent when the Bible is silent, and you are loud when the Bible is loud. So I'm going to be silent where this research paper is silent, and loud where this research paper is loud. So they mentioned a couple of brands that I'm also going to mention to you. I'm going to be loud about it so that you know the kind of water that you are consuming in. So this paper, as I said earlier on, one part was done in 2015, another part was done in 2016. So in 2015, 88 samples of 12 brands were taken. In 2016, 87 samples of 9 brands were taken. Each of them were frozen, and then they were put into an ice chest, ice pack coolers, and they were shipped to the United States, particularly Georgia Southern University, and they were analyzed for the presence of what? Microbes. Okay, so to continue, from the analysis that they were able to do, they found that overall total coliform were positive for the samples. When you talk about total coliforms is the entire bacteria that are found in water. That is what we call the total coliform. So all the brands and all the water samples that they analyzed, they found out that all of them contain was total coliform, and the numbers vary. So it could even be 1, some could be even be 2, some could even be 1,000. But the maximum number of coliforms that they found, or the maximum number of bacteria that they found, were 800 per 100 ml, 800 CFU per ml, which means that if you take 100 ml of water, you are going to find 800 bacteria in them. Now looking at the size of the sachet water contains 500 ml of water. So times 5, which means that it is going to contain 4,000 bacteria. So each sachet water contains 4,000 bacteria per ratio and proportion. That is what this research is telling us, that the maximum number of what counts was what 800. So per 100 ml. So meaning that if it were to be 500 multiplied by 5, it would be what? 4,000, which is very alarming. So per the research, these people did not find any culturable E. coli. Now when you talk about culturable E. coli, you take a sample, a significant sample, that is 1 ml or 100 microliters, and then you pipette it into, if you are using the pour plate method, and that is when you pick 100 ml of the sample, or 100 microliter of the sample, and then you pour it into the pipette, depending on the method that you are going to use. But these people use the filtration method. That means that they pour the water into a filter, and then the filter was able to separate the germ from the water. So they took whatever was on the filter paper, and then they were able to grow it on an agar. So I don't want to go into the science of it, so we will get to know it. So they didn't find any culturable E. coli. However, when they analyzed the water for the genes of E. coli, they found that 44% of the samples were fraught with the E. coli gene, which means that if you take 100 of the sample, 44 of them had the genes of E. coli in them. And I've told you before that E. coli is normally found in the gut, which means that it is normal, which means that if something is found in your stomach, in your gut, and it has found its way in your water and also in your food, it means that what feces have entered the water or the food that what you are eating, which you have to be very much what careful about that. So they did a lot of analysis on that. So because they didn't find any cultural E. coli, they went on to do the quantitative PCR, polymerase chain reaction, to find the genes that they were looking for. And they found that the gene actually of the E. coli they found did not belong to the one of human origin, which means that they came from the biofilms in the pipes in the system itself that were producing this sachet water, which means that there was poor disinfection process or poor disinfection treatment in the production area, which made it very possible for them to detect E. coli genes in the water, which is also alarming, and that we should take attention, and then we should be conscious of that. Yes, so they found this organisms inside, which as a scientist I know that is very detrimental and injurious to our health. So according to the World Health Organization guidelines for drinking water, total coliforms should be used to assess bacteriological and biofilm contamination in distribution systems, because there would have been no total coliform growth in a recently disinfected system. That is what I was talking to you about. Detecting high concentration of this group of bacteria means that the total coliform survived in biofilms, in the pipeline, in the distribution system, in whatever is producing what the sachet water, which means that there is poor disinfection or poor treatment going on there, which has to be what taken into consideration. So the information on the sachet water were also examined. So after analyzing the water samples, the information on the water sachets itself also was examined, and then they found that majority, 78% of the labels had no information of treatment whatsoever. So we do not know the kind of treatments that they meted onto the sachet water. So whether filtration